The Supreme Court of Pakistan has now reversed its verdict in the 2023 Mubarak Sani case after intense pressure from religious hardliners. The latest ruling removes key paragraphs from the earlier decision that had briefly allowed Ahmadiyyas, who are a religious minority group in Pakistan, the freedom to practice their faith. Now, critics, including human rights activists, lawyers, and journalists, are outraged and are accusing the court of succumbing to religious extremism instead of ensuring equal justice. Hello and welcome to The Print. My name is Debdutta, and in What is Trending in Pakistan today, we discuss why the country's Supreme Court is facing criticism over its ruling on Ahmadiyyas, who are a religious minority group in Pakistan. The country has seen a deadlock between religious groups and its judiciary over the 2023 Mubarak Sani case, in which the top court allowed the persecuted Ahmadiyyas to practice their faith. Historian Ali Usman Kasmi wrote on Twitter that the Supreme Court's surrender is the final nail in the coffin for equal citizenship in Pakistan. The minority Ahmadiyya community, which has the largest population in Pakistan, has been facing immense religious and social persecution and is officially recognized as non-Muslims in the country. Now, the Mubarak Sani case centers on a February 6th ruling by the Pakistan Supreme Court, which had ordered the release of an Ahmadiyya man, Mubarak Ahmad Sani, who was arrested for distributing the Tafsir-e-Saghir, which is an Ahmadiyya religious text. Sani was then charged under a 2021 Punjab law, which bans the selling of certain Quranic texts, but he had argued that he had distributed the text in 2019 and this was before the law was enacted. Now, Chief Justice Qazi Faiz Isa ruled in his favor, stating that criminal laws cannot be applied retroactively. The court, now in its 22nd August judgment, has backtracked on its earlier verdicts and has agreed to changes that were demanded by religious leaders in the country. An eminent author and lawyer told ThePrint that religious freedom has now been abolished in Pakistan with this verdict and the entire state is complicit. He added that this was a searing indictment of the idea that a Muslim majority state can ensure religious freedom. He said, and I quote, "This is a victory not just for the anti-Ahmadi bigots, but also the Islamophobes who have long argued the incompatibility of Islam with fundamental human rights." Now, here's a timeline of events in the Mubarak Sani case. While the 6th February 2024 decision in the Mubarak Sani case was seen by some as a small victory for religious freedom, it was heavily criticized by the radical Sunni groups and the Council of Islamic Ideology, who opposed any recognition of Ahmadi beliefs. The verdict then saw mass protests against Chief Justice Isa, which led to a rare Supreme Court clarification on the 24th of July that the decision had only addressed retroactivity and had not granted any rights to the Ahmadis. However, the council condemned this as insufficient and demanded further restrictions. On 17th of August 2024, the Punjab government urgently requested the Supreme Court to remove specific sections from its revised judgment and filed a new petition challenging the court's ruling. Then, an urgent hearing was scheduled for 22nd August. Meanwhile, protests by religious groups including Jamiat Ulema Islam and the Jamaat-e-Islami escalated on the 21st of August, with demonstrators clashing with police and attempting to breach the Supreme Court and the Parliament House. The groups warned the court to withdraw the verdict entirely before 7 September. Now, the court's decision on 22nd of August followed extensive arguments from various stakeholders, including clerics like Mufti Taqi Usmani. He specifically criticized paragraph 42 of the earlier judgment, which had discussed the rights of Ahmadis under the Constitution of Pakistan. And Usmani contended that it implied that Ahmadis could freely preach, which he believed was incorrect and potentially in conflict with Section 298 of the Pakistan Penal Code, which prohibits non-Muslims from posing as Muslims. The Chief Justice acknowledged that lengthy judgments can sometimes lead to oversights, hence agreed to review the specific objections. He also emphasized the need for judicial decisions to align with Islamic principles while respecting parliamentary views. Now, his decision has led to conflicting opinions. While some across have criticized the Chief Justice for cowering in the face of religious fundamentalism, others have supported his decision, citing earlier protests and subsequent death threats that he received. Politician Fawad Hussain called it a sad day for Pakistan and added that the Chief Justice should at least form a commission to report within 15 days who facilitated mobs outside the Supreme Court to coerce and pressurize his bench and make dire threats to his life. Senior journalist Abbas Nasir, however, was not so subtle and simply said, "What a joke we have made of our country." Journalist Tahir Imran also echoed similar sentiments and wrote on Twitter that where a Supreme Court backtracks from a decision after it has not only given a decision but has also taken care of that decision in review, this becomes a historic review upon review, which to my knowledge is a unique thing where the court opens itself to a whole new world of aspirants who are now ready to arm twist the court to get what they want. However, some people chose to stand by the Chief Justice's decision. One among them was senior journalist Raza Ahmed Rumi, who said that the Chief Justice could not be blamed for this and is just a victim of a campaign that could cost him his life. Barrister Amir Zafar Khan also agreed, adding that it would be difficult for the Chief Justice in such a case to take a step without any state support, which could lead to his own death. Now, the Ahmadiyya community in Pakistan faces a long-standing crisis of severe marginalization and persecution. Although the Ahmadis consider themselves Muslims, many Islamic groups label them as heretics and legally prohibit them from identifying as Muslims. This discrimination extends to their voting rights, and Ahmadis are forced to declare themselves non-Muslims in order to cast a vote. They refuse to do so and often endure frequent threats of violence against themselves, their homes, workplaces, and places of worship, and are often also accused of blasphemy unjustly while their attackers go unpunished. In public life, Ahmadis face systemic exclusion, and to obtain a Pakistani passport, they must sign a declaration identifying them as non-Muslims. In June 2024 alone, Amnesty International had reported 36 arbitrary arrests and numerous instances of police harassment against Ahmadis, along with bans on their religious practices.